I picked up aches and pains along the way, and it was in my early 30s I got a persistent lower back pain on the left side that then became sciatica, and it was on and off 50% of the time for 5 years. And I was like, I don't want this to be my life. God, I went to so many people, chiropractors and osteopaths, tweeners, therapists, Thai massage therapists, homeopaths, all of it. And they all had their own idea of what they thought it was. Anyway, my husband listens to Joe Rogan, and that's where he heard of the Human Garage. I started doing the stress reset every day, morning and night. It was the first time I did it that the pain went. It didn't even take a week. It was literally the first time I did it. It then maybe crept in a little bit. I kept doing it. I think I probably did it twice a day for roughly a year. It completely dissolved and disappeared. I then did it through pregnancy as well, which really helped me with the confidence in my body. To begin with, it did feel a little bit strange on the connective tissue deep down in my abdomen. But then the more I did it, the more I was able to do, and I kept doing it. And any aches or pains that came on in my weight-bearing joints just went. Again, it evaporated from doing the stress reset. And I also just want to say to any woman listening to this that hasn't had a baby, and if they are scared about it, I was, and you will be fine. Whatever happens, you will be absolutely fine. Through the pregnancy, the birth, and then her, if I've ever had any challenges or stress, it's never been her. She's just like an absolute magical little gift. The challenges have been...
And so knows what she wants to do.
Like what you said though, where you haven't thought about who she's going to be. I think that's one of the most powerful things you can do, because otherwise you energetically push the direction, right? And I think that's where a lot of parents go wrong, is they try and shape the person that their child is becoming.
Rather than find out what that child is special or good at and encourage it. We tend to want to push them in a direction. Like we know.
Have you ever read The Conscious Parent? Yeah, that changed my relationship with my stepson, and with Naya, it's just wow.
So let's get a little bit more background so we can start this officially. Because people, let's a little bit about yourself, Chloe. Like first of all, like who are you, and how did you find Human Garage in the first place? There's got to be a story there.
Yeah. So I'm a farmer's daughter. I think I probably started it like that last time, but it feels like that's a big part of my identity. So yeah, farmer's daughter in Yorkshire. And I was educated in York. I went to university. I studied aromatherapy and reflexology, Indian head massage, and various other holistic therapies. I then worked in different spas. I went traveling and learned Thai massage. I came back. I set up as self-employed in my mum and dad's farmhouse. I've been self-employed for 10 years. I then met my husband. We've been together 7 years. We got married last year on the farm. He is like, he's just everything to me. And it's like the Disney happy ever after, not to say that, I had other experiences that weren't quite that, but he's definitely been that for me. And I became a stepmom with his child. One of the biggest challenges ever was becoming a step parent. Like, wow, you look right down into your guts. You've got to like get them out and deal with so many of your own insecurities. It was the best thing I could have ever had, but very difficult at the beginning. And that's just now a pure joy. There's still moments when I'm like, but I'm very lucky to have him in my life. I see it as a good thing. And we had a baby. So she was born, January this year. I'm 38 now. So they class you as a geriatric mother in this country I'm like, oh, okay.
Geriatric mother.
Yeah, I know. So that was incredible. The pregnancy was brilliant, amazing. Nothing at all that, was distressing. The birth, I wanted it to be a hypnobirth. We had a water pool in the house, and I had aromatherapy on the go, and I had the diffuser going. I was meditating, I was doing affirmations. I'll just reverse back to where I discovered the human garage. So being a massage therapist, people in this area like to feel the massage. They like to. So I've always been very conscientious of applying pressure, sometimes at the detriment of my own physical body. And I picked up aches and pains along the way. And it was in my early 30s, I got a persistent lower back pain on the left side that then became sciatica. And it was on and off 50% of the time for 5 years. And I was like, I don't want this to be my life. This is just so achy, and I wasn't enjoying doing my clients. And that was my way of making money. And that was my energy of giving and receiving. And I didn't want to do anything else. And it became quite horrible. And I went to so many people, chiropractors and osteopaths, tweeners, therapists, Thai massage therapists, homeopaths, all of it. And they all had their own idea of what they thought it was. Anyway, my husband listens to Joe Rogan, and that's where he heard of the human garage. So I was like, okay. So I looked up the human garage, and instantly I was like, wow. The main thing for me that really, really pulled me in was that you wanted to help people help themselves. So there wasn't that money greed thing behind it, where it was about making money and hiding the secrets and making them be this, like, under this veil of taboo, and like a lot of conventional medical people, I feel, do. And then your philosophy of how you were preaching to people that they should be doing, self-care, but that you weren't doing self-care, then led you to close down the clinic and open up the retreat in Canada. And everything about it was just like, oh, this is amazing. And anyway, I started doing the stress reset every day, morning and night. It was the first time I did it that the pain went. It didn't even take a week. It was literally the first time I did it. It then maybe crept in a little bit. I kept doing it twice a day. I think I probably did it twice a day for roughly a year. It completely dissolved and disappeared. And that was all I needed. And I just couldn't believe it. And from then, I pursued you, kept looking at what you're doing. I just kept telling all my clients about the stress reset, especially the stress reset. I then did it through pregnancy as well, which really helped me with the confidence in my body.
What do you mean by that confidence in your body? Like, in which way did that help you?
Yeah. So when I got pregnant, it's like a weird set. It's like, how do I explain it? It happens so gradually, but your tummy starts to feel internally very different, and deep down in the muscles, you stop being able to move normal, how you would normally move, and you lose confidence in how your body is able to move. And so you stop doing certain movements. So I kept doing the stress reset. And like I said, to begin with, it did feel a little bit strange on the connective tissue deep down in my abdomen. But then the more I did it, the more I was able to do, and I kept doing it. And any aches or pains that came on in my weight-bearing joints just went. Again, it evaporated from doing the stress reset. I was quite anxious about the birth. I was quite fearful about the birth, really, from the very second the pregnancy test told me I was pregnant. And I think it really helped me with my anxiety and my fear, which was amazing for me. And yeah, I was in labor for like 2 days nearly, and I was doing the moves when I was in labor. And the breathing was just incredible. It was just so great. And the birth just went the complete opposite way of what I wanted it to do. We did so well at home. You know, we labored to 6 centimeters, dilated, with nothing, no medication, just the moves, my own breathing, what I'd learned at the hypnobirth birthing course. I jumped in the water bath at home. I thought, this is amazing. I can push her here. I can do it. And then her heart rate went down. She was getting tired. I was getting tired. So we went into hospital. And my mindset was not good, which didn't help. And we were tired and we were pushing for a very long time, and you were quite restricted. The beds are quite narrow. The floor's very hard. There was no water baths available. You're very much on a timer as well. They only let you push for so long. So I felt a lot of pressure, and I wasn't in a very good state of mind. So we needed some help, and we had a low forceps assisted birth in the end. And it was a huge shock. I was very fearful. But as soon as she came out and was on me, nothing mattered. It was incredible. And then I kept doing the moves afterwards, and I've been using other things. So since having her, breastfeeding has meant that I've put a lot of strain on my wrists. So I've got repetitive wrist strain. So I've been doing the finger talking. Yeah. And then the elbow, this one as well, a lot. And that's been really helping. So yeah.
So did you, so when you did fascial maneuvers, you're already doing it. So your nervous system was already calmed down. Things had changed for you, which is good, because that means the baby's not starting off with a very stressed state. And then as you did the maneuvers, was there ever a question about, did you ever wonder, like, I'm twisting, is that good for the baby? Was any of those thoughts going through?
Yeah. So this one, where you just sort of, and where you squeeze your bum, because that really is what helped my lower back pain. When you squeeze your bum and like I said, I was thinking, oh my God, am I going to dislodge the fetus on the womb? You know, it was so, because it is such a deep move. You feel it right through to almost to your womb. You're feeling it really. So yeah, I thought, oh my gosh, is it going to dislodge the baby? So I went a lot less extreme with the twist to start with, and then I built up to it. I just felt myself, and I could just feel where it was. And actually, I think it would have been fine if I'd have really done to the extreme, which I was doing before. But it was just a mind thing.
That's a common one that happens. They're scared to move. There's a fear of movement when I'm pregnant. You know, like you've got to sit and stuff like this. Yeah. But the truth of it actually is movement's what actually helps the baby contextualize, get space, get contact. It also helps with the development of the fetus. It helps with the density of the bones and stuff like that. So there's a lot of fear around moving around the baby. Did you feel, you haven't had another baby, so there's not a comparison. So this is the only way you know. You came into this birth out of stress because you're already doing the stress reset. Then you did the stress reset, and you did the fascial maneuvers right through your pregnancy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, all the way.
Where were some of the points? Was there a point that you kind of got this feeling like I can't move anymore, and like I just can't carry myself throughout the day? You did maneuvers, and then you were able to get through it. Was that kind of?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. On an evening, because I was massaging clients up to like 8 months pregnant. I do ashiatsu with the bars. So I'm holding this is to take pressure off my lower back. So that helped a lot. I stopped doing the Thai quite early on, but I was massaging, doing bed work up till 8 months pregnant. So at the end of the day, I started to feel very stiff, a lot less mobile. My body just kind of went like this. And then I would do the moves on a night. I'd walk to the bathroom and brush my teeth, wash my face. And I was like, oh, it's lifted. It's gone. It's lifted. It lifted it. And then I just slept really, really nicely.
Oh, that's fabulous. Especially that last month where you can barely put your legs together and everything
Oh my gosh.
Did you have a puffiness around your ankles or anything that didn't have any of that? Or
No. So
fabulous.
No lymphatic issues at all. No problems in the pregnancy. Just nothing. Everything was really, really positive. Really, really good.
That's beautiful.
So the hallmark of having children, like conceiving and then delivering, is the least amount of stress that would be best for the baby. And since you're taking your body out of stress, the stress reset is 75 to 90% of your stress hormones gone. So the baby's also getting that because the baby also goes with the stress level of the mom. So throughout the day, you were constantly calming yourself. I think that's why you had a great pregnancy. Since you haven't had one before, there's no comparison. But I know a lot of women, when they go and they get pregnant, they're shocked because the changes in their body. One of the things you said about being confident is if I'm not able to move, I feel unconfident in my body, which then turns to the way I look, the way I feel, everything else, right?
Oh, hugely, yeah. I don't know if you've noticed, but I just literally went and got my hair highlighted, like a full head. I wanted to go completely blonde, and it's like a re-identification thing after the baby because you do feel sluggish and unattractive in some respects, and I didn't really feel like a yummy glowing mummy. That I felt beautiful and I was growing nigher, and I didn't care to look sexy, but I didn't feel that glow, that lovely thing everybody talks about. I just felt sluggish, and I wanted to kind of not reinvent myself, but re-identify a little bit after she came along. So no, that is so true.
So have you used any of the concepts like the fetal position, the wrapping? Have you done any kind of work on that yet?
I haven't, no.
Well, you have her in a sling though, so she's naturally.
Oh yes, sorry. I have been on her. Yeah, I've been wearing the sling, which is incredible. Freelance slings.
Get a sling.
Yeah, because you said to get the sling. It's a lot. Just get a sling. Everyone who has a baby, get a sling. And I've been doing the on her head and then
perfect
on a bum.
Yeah,
and then the other way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I was asking, if you were doing that, because there's tension that develops inside the baby from the right around the spine all the way down, and just that counter rotation there that keeps that all the flow opening up. It's gonna be fun to watch Naya as she gets older, because we personally believe that when a baby's born out of stress, and the mother and the stress of the mother is where the baby reacts. And the mother's out of stress physically, emotionally, during that process. Then the babies just are more well-rounded. They're able to cope. How does it helping with you emotionally? Because beforehand, you were having physical issues in your body. You got rid of that before you got pregnant. But did you have days? I mean, there's a lot of the emotions, the hormones that are going that take you off on roller coasters as you're pregnant. Did you find that was pretty level for you, or?
Yeah, when I had the pain in my back, I got it was definitely fear. And when you guys, provided the tools for me to be able to heal myself, the fear went. I wasn't fearful of it coming back because I knew I had that then to help it dissolve. So that removed a huge fear, not just a fear of the pain, but a fear of like my future and my job and income and self-worth and all of it. It just created this resolve for all that. So that was huge, because actually I'm trying to think what that would have felt like to have gotten pregnant with her and then being fearful about that pain. So that wasn't there. Thank you to you. And then what was I saying? I've lost my trail. This is
talking about how the confidence in the body, and you weren't fearful, because if you had the pain at that time, you would have been more fearful in your body.
Yes. Yes. So no, I had the tools to deal with it. I kept very fit and healthy as well. I eat a lot of fruit and vegetables, and I do yoga and walk, and I'm very conscientious as well. So that's definitely helped towards it. Yeah.
So what kind of advice would you give women when they're coming in? Because there's two things. Women are trying to conceive, and that's been tougher for women because of the stressors of the world. And then after they do, like, now that you've done it this way, what advice would you give young women that are trying to conceive or worried about what to do through their pregnancy?
Yeah. I mean, it took us 5 months to fall pregnant, and I was 37. So I was older. That was the decision that I'd made, I'm pleased mentally and emotionally to have had a baby now, because I feel very ready. However, physically, I would have been a lot better doing it in my 20s. But I would put mental and emotional above a physical, because I think the physical follows. So I would absolutely recommend that they do the stress reset and more before they get pregnant, and don't even think about the age thing. But yeah, absolutely do it, and do it throughout the pregnancy. It's incredible for everything.
Are there any of the other things that you're doing through the pregnancy, like the organ reset or anything like that?
I did the organ reset a little bit as well, yeah, but it mainly was the stress reset, and then like post pregnancy, the repetitive wrist for the repetitive wrist, and the elbow talking for the sort of dehydration and stuff there. And I have actually just been doing the rib for the anxiety.
Yeah.
The rib, yeah, I just did that today for the first time. That was really interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, because if the rib cage is slightly dislocated and it's just like torqued a little bit, that rib can cause an anxious feeling.
Yeah.
And it's a lot repetitive. You do a lot of work and you're dominant on one side, so it tends to torque the rib cage a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So when your milk came in, did you do any fascial work around your breasts or anything extra for having that drop in?
I didn't. I didn't. I wish I had. I just committed. I committed so deeply to the stress reset.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was doing it morning and night and really doing it properly. So I would have loved to have done that though, and to have built on that and done more. And I am now in the post-pregnancy part of it.
See, that's
perfect.
that's part of it, yeah. Because the post-pregnancy is you've got your body's been stretched out in all these different ways. Some of those areas, as it shrinks, they hold on to where it was stretched. And the fascial maneuvers is what's releasing that tension to get back to your body. So where are you in that phase yet? Are you back to the point where you feel like this is the body I've had before, or this is better? Or?
Yeah, breastfeeding is incredible. Like what it does to the uterus, how it makes it contract back down. It's incredible. However, if that's not possible for everyone, I would never sort of be negative about not being able to breastfeed. But I think if you can, you should, and you should try. I believe you should try to be brave when it becomes a little bit challenging to push through that. If that really isn't for you, then that's not for you. But what breastfeeding does for the body, I find is amazing. And the chemicals it releases and the hormones and the bond, it's just like, wow. And what breast milk has in it. And apparently when the baby feeds, the little bit of backwash goes into the boob, and the boob goes, oh, this is what they need next time. Like if they have a cold, it produces antibodies for the cold, or an eye infection, it'll produce, it's amazing. But again, if you can't breastfeed, you can't breastfeed, and that's how it is, and you've got to be happy. So yeah, that was, I love breastfeeding. I'm not conscious in a negative way about my body having to be back to being really slim and
how do you feel in your body?
I feel happy because it's feeding her. I don't want to restrict my food intake because, that will affect my milk supply. So I know that I want to keep a sort of nice amount of fat on me so that I can still nourish her. And yes, I have maybe like a stone to lose, but I don't want to do it quickly. And
the sciatica pain never really came back either, the hips.
Oh, so it came back a little bit. And then I just kept up with the stress reset and it went off again.
That's awesome.
That's fabulous.
Have you noticed when you fluctuate how she reacts? Like if she fluctuates with you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you know, that is so interesting you say that, because energy wise, so if she is whinging and sort of crying and I'm in a really positive mood and I'm feeling light, I can smile at her or laugh at her and snap her around. I can snap her out of it. She'll just go from crying to just giggling at me. We got COVID, and I believe she had it because I tested her temperature and it was very high, and I think she had COVID. In herself, she was fine, but her and my husband and me got quite stressed, thinking, oh my gosh, our little baby girl has COVID. And we got really stressed out, and she just started to cry out of nowhere. It was just, it's purely, you're right. It's the energy. It's amazing.
The children take the energy of the parents. They're like buffers, same thing as animals, because we have all these emotions we've been taught not to express. The children don't have that filter, so they filter for us. That's why when we're stressed, they're stressed. And if we take care of ourselves, they tend to be better themselves.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So, it's been quite the journey. So you went through the Lifestyle Artist program, and what did you learn going through that? What did that change for you?
It was quite emotional, I felt. You were listening to a lot of people talking about their emotions. And I'd just given birth, well, kind of like it was maybe a month or two, I think it was 2 months after that. So I did find it a little bit, maybe a little bit emotionally overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite amazed at how you can connect to people over a screen, oceans apart. That was quite wild. Yeah,
When you say connect to people over the screen, like what was it that really stood out for you?
just like doing the moves together and breathing together. And then you suddenly like feel stuff and be like, well, that's not mine. And it's someone else's. And it's crazy.
Yeah. So it just makes it doesn't matter the physical boundaries. If we're connected, we're connected.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe it could have been a little bit emotional overwhelming at the time because you're being flooded with all the hormones.
And you have a newborn and
Yeah. It was a lot. I absorb a lot, quite sensitive. So I absorb a lot of other people's emotions. So yeah, it was quite overwhelming, but I kind of just took a little bit of a step back and just kind of observed more, which was really interesting for me.
Would be interesting to see you maybe even go through the process again from a different space, because when you went through it, you just finished having birth. There was everything else going on in your life. I'd be curious to see you go through that process again and see how you react and what's different.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
It's also unique because every group's different. Some groups, people are crying the whole time. Other groups, we're laughing, having fun, and other times we're educating and moving. So it really depends on the group and the energy and what people are working through. And also the seasons, different seasons of the year, people are going through different things.
Wow. I think it's amazing, you guys, how you give people so much of your time and you're always so present, even though I know you have so many things going on. I love that. It's, it's like really inspiring.
It's part of the process. It's just part of, as we raise our frequency, we remove the trauma and stress from our body. These are just natural traits that everybody has. And that's what's great to see is we're starting to see it in the community. People are very present, not bothered by things the way they used to, not reacting the way they used to, which just means it's working.
Mm-hmm. So what's your perception of, you were one of the first ones in our app until now. A lot has changed since then. Like, I guess what has been the most surprising thing about our shift in the Human Garage journey since you started doing the maneuvers? Because I believe were you doing them when it was the videos at the beach, or was it after that? When did you start doing them?
Oh my gosh. It was like nearly 2 years ago.
Yeah. I believe you were probably doing the original.
The ones
where we didn't even have the language, we didn't even have the cueing. We were just What
I really noticed is your faces have changed. I know you've done before and after photos so that you can see it, but your faces have all have changed. I love it. I do facials and I'm a little bit upset with how much people want to get Botox when they're like 22, 25, very young. So, I'm showing them the non-surgical facelift. And I'm like, don't bother having this done. Get your face and literally just, and all the talking that you do. So your faces. Yeah, they look gorgeous. They did before, but they look even gorgeous now.
Yeah. There's been, what have you, since you've been in the community for a while, you've been popping in and out. What have you noticed change recently? If you're telling somebody about your 2 years at the Human Garage and what you've seen change.
Yeah, there's a lot more. You're really putting out a lot more, an awful lot more. You have other people now showing new things on behalf of the Human Garage. Yeah, and you've become a lot more minimal, like in a good way, I mean.
Yeah.
You've just kind of gone like...
That's our life.
That feels right.
That's our life. It's like when you asked about clothes, it's like, yeah, it's pretty easy to coordinate clothes because we literally don't have that many. We live a pretty simple life. We live in a great place, but our choice was to simplify all the aspects of our life and take out all the stuff we used to care about and find out what we really care about. And what I really cared about was a lot different than what I thought I cared about before. I take more space for me and what I'm doing in my journey and being here than I did before. Before I was always trying to accomplish something. And that shows up in the body, it shows up in the face.
Yeah, it's nice. It's incredible. It's truly like really inspiring. Oh, and I got the I have also purchased quite a few of the little bits along the way. So the sea moss.
Yeah.
And can you believe how that looks like fascia?
Yeah.
I like couldn't believe that. So I've been using that in like stews and soups and then the curcumin, the curcumin 30. I've been using that as well. And that's well, I don't know.
Good for the baby because your milk carries the antibody or the hormone levels. So as you drop your hormones, it affects the baby dramatically.
Wow. And silica also. I'm taking silica.
Perfect.
Yeah. So
have you tried diatomaceous earth?
No.
Yeah. We found it had a high concentration of silica. And it also has 20 trace minerals. It helps with a lot of things in the body. Detoxing from aluminums and metals. It helps parasite detoxing. So it's basically silica, but with all these added benefits to it. So good supplement for it. And we'll be coming out with ours probably within the next 60 days.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you can find some just temporarily if you want. You can even take a bath with it and try it out. Your skin will change dramatically.
Yeah, dramatically. It'd be really good to bath the baby in it too. Because the silica.
Can I bath with Naya in it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she loves baths.
Basically, the babies have a really high concentration of silica in respect to calcium. And what they do is they measure your silica to calcium ratio as a biological indicator of age, youth. Yeah. So if you have high silica, it's abundant in babies. And as we get older, we start to become depleted in it. And so with taking a bath, or supplementing with it, it's a really good way to get it back into the body.
Wow. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's like unbelievable what it does to your skin. It's like I can't describe it. You just have to try it.
Okay, yeah. Well, I take your word for it. Yeah. I will.
That's fun.
Awesome.
It was great, Chloe. We just wanted to have a little chat with you today about the pregnancy, about the fascial maneuvers, what you saw through it. There's going to be, at some point in time, women, I know this is going to start to happen. There's going to be a group of women who are pregnant who are doing them. We're going to want some sort of support or feedback. And it's just fact, because all those things that we talked about earlier, do you worry about squishing the baby? All those are questions. Those are real questions that women have. And even being in the space and understanding the medicine or understanding the body as well as I do, I have those questions too. And so it's really nice to have somebody who's gone through it. Mm-hmm. It's really helpful.
Yeah.
No. Well, thank you so much for providing those amazing fascia release moves. They've changed my life. I say that all the time, but I really mean it. And I also just want to say to any woman listening to this that hasn't had a baby, and if they are scared about it, I was, and you will be fine. Whatever happens, you will be absolutely fine. Yeah.
That's perfect. Thank you, Chloe. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah. Thanks so much.
Okay.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
You look fabulous.
Thank you. Bye.